Good evening, everyone. I hope everyone is having a great time. And we have been away for a while with In Harmony with Ershad on Air TV network. But we are back. But how we are doing it at the moment, coming on and off with some special causes. And every time we are trying to do a special episode of In Harmony with Ershad until we have figured out the way how to make it regularly or how to come in front of you regularly with our shows again. But in the meantime, we are doing, as I'm saying, that the special causes or the special episodes that we are trying to plan every week that has a lot of importance for us and for every one of us who's watching it all over the world. So I would like to welcome you today to a very special cause. You might have seen the promotional that's been running for a couple of days, or at least from yesterday, we have been putting it on screen. So you might have seen it. So we are trying to, as I have said, in harmony with Ershad, we had this one cause that in our mind that we try to bring people, especially through music. It could be musicians together and create a network of people all around the world. But in doing so, I'm so happy to say that with all of your help and everyone's support, it was a surprising thing and a very pleasant surprise for me. I would say that we have been able to reach people in remote parts of the world. So what happened during this, we started the show during COVID-19. And during this period, since we have done quite a lot of episodes and people have been watching us all around the world. And it happened that I've started receiving messages from different parts of the world, especially from subcontinent and other parts of the world where musicians are. And I have started receiving message from a very remote village of Rajasthan, India, from a group of musicians. And later on, he started explaining to me the problems they're facing, especially COVID-19. It's the aftermath of COVID-19, as we can say. And we have felt a pinch, every one of us all around the world, in every country. People have been going through a lot of financial issues, a lot of problems. But as we know, especially people who are dependent on live music or the live music scene, they have been hit very badly. And especially people who just, that's what their livelihood is all about, music. And they have no other way to survive. And especially if you are in a remote part of the world where there's no other facility and that's the only way you earn your livelihood, that'll be the hardest. So in that respect, I came to know about this group. They're called a KASAM LANGHA group. And they have started connecting with me, especially the group leader, KASAM Khan. And that's how I came to know about this group. And he started telling me that the problems they have been facing and the financial constraints. And then I started talking to him. Then I started talking to him through video chats and other medium. And I have come to see the place he lives in with his family and the whole group where their practice is just literally a one room. They live like 4 or 5 people or 6, 7 people just all around the corner. They're spread out and they don't even have electricity that comes on and off, or probably most of the time it's not there. And they have to, for electricity or to have a light in their house, they have to travel quite a lot of distance. And even to charge their mobile phone, the phone they have been using to connect with me, they have a tower in the next village. From there, they get the connection. But at the same time, what they have to do is they try to charge their phone. They have to go to a shop. They have to walk a few miles to go to that shop and get their phone charged. This is how they try to get connected or keep themselves connected to the rest of the world. And this is how he was watching my show as well. So it was a very privileged thing for me. And I felt that this show, when I started, In Harmony with Ershad, in that name, we try to explain to people, and every time I try to clarify in many ways, that it's about the music we are using. It's about being in harmony all around the world, people in the world, the global community we have. We try to bring everyone together and bring them in harmony through this show. And we started with music, definitely being a musician myself. I try to connect with musicians and try to connect musicians from all around the world. But in doing so, what I have achieved, I didn't realize. But at the time, I felt we all have responsibilities beyond what we are achieving at the moment, but you can always go a step further. And in that, whenever I started thinking like that, and I've been planning about this one, and to be honest with you, musicians from Bangladesh, from India, from other countries as well, they have been in connection with me. They have been in touch with me and explaining the situations they have been facing, the hardship, the financial constraints, and a lot of other issues they're facing, and they're asking for help. And you can understand for one person, how many people can you help on your own with your personal funds? So that's when I was trying to figure out a way when I can get people involved, all the viewers who are watching this show. I wanted to get everyone involved. So in doing so, we have started, this is our first initiative, and we wanted to bring KASAM Khan and his group today, and they're with us. So first of all, I'd like to throw some caution in the air. Hindi is not my first language, but for them to understand the show and to understand the way I communicate, I cannot speak in Bangla, I cannot speak in English, so I have to speak in Hindi, my broken Hindi. But it's not about me. You have to understand. So most of the time in YouTube and other places, or even in social media, most of the time what happens, we always concentrate on the wrong places. We try to stress the wrong points. So today I would like to mention that whatever I talk like, whatever I say, please don't concentrate on that. The cause we are here for, to help this group and try to, it's just a small amount we are asking through crowdfunding. It's on the website Just Giving, and we're trying to raise a fund for them. It's just £600. I think just 600 people, even if you give a poundage, we can raise £600. It won't be a difficult thing for us to do. But for these people, it will mean a lot to them. I'll show a lot of videos about the condition of their living and their performances, how talented they are. You would know they've been performing for 7 generations, and they started their first generation of the musicians they had. They used to perform in front of the royalties, and now the condition they live in, it's unbearable. Even when you see that, you'll have tears in your eyes, which I had. So I feel that today, just don't concentrate on my broken Hindi. Rather than that, try to think about these people and how you can help them. We have a link you'll see on screen. It will be popping up, is a link for Just Giving. And that's a link where you can click, or you can go to that link, and then it's very easy to make a payment, whatever donation you'd like to make. Our target is £600. So we're trying to raise it, if possible, by today, so we can send it to them as soon as possible. Because normally once the fund is raised, it would take us 5 to 10 days probably for the website to generate the funds and transfer it, so we can send it back to them. So if we can reach our target as soon as possible, we can send them. From my personal fund, I've already sent. My producer had already joined. Some of my friends had already made some contributions. Once you go to the website, you'll see that it's already generating some funds. So I hope we can all help this cause. And without any further ado, I'd like to introduce now and bring in front of you the group, a KASAM Khan LANGHA group. And they're with us. KASAM, कैसे हो?
जी,
कैसे हो?
बस मैं ठीक हूँ सर।
हाँ, तो मैं जो बता रहा था कि तुम लोगों को आज बहुत दूर आना पड़ा अपने घर से,
जी,
क्योंकि वहाँ पे इलेक्ट्रिसिटी नहीं है। तो अगर तुमको परफॉर्म करना है, और रात को कितने बज रहे हैं अब? 10:30?
10:30।
10:30। तो 10:30 बजे तो बहुत ही अंधेरा होगा, तो इसीलिए तुम इधर हो मेरे साथ, आज टेलीविजन पे हो, और तुमको बहुत दूर आना पड़ा। कितना दूर तुम पैदल आए, और कैसे आए तुम लोग?
पैदल आए सर।
पैदल आए, और कितना दूर तुमको आना पड़ा?
10 किलोमीटर।
10 किलोमीटर। तो यही बता रहा था क्योंकि मैं कितना दिक्कत होता है, वैसे ही तुम लोगों के ऊपर बहुत कठिनाई जा रहा है, और उसके ऊपर ये जो चल रहा है। तो बहुत ही धन्यवाद हम सब लोगों के, और जो भी देख रहे हैं हम चाह रहे हैं कि तुमने जो कहा था मुझे कि तुम्हारे 7 पुश्तों से तुम लोग म्यूजिक कर रहे हो, और पहले तो बहुत ही अच्छा था कंडीशन, बहुत दिन ब दिन वो ख़राब होता जा रहा है। और ये जो अब तुम्हारा जो फाइनेंशियल सिचुएशन है, जो बिकॉज ऑफ कोविड-19 और पैंडेमिक के लिए, तो लॉकडाउन के लिए बहुत ही दिक्कत हो रहा है, तो तुमने मुझे बताया था। तो तुम ही बताओ अब सब लोगों को कि कोविड से पहले क्या हो रहा था, अब क्या फेस कर रहे हो तुम लोग, क्या प्रॉब्लम चल रहा है?
कोविड से पहले तो मतलब अच्छा खासा चल रहा था। कोई शादी या कोई फंक्शन वगैरह होते तो वहाँ पे काम मिल जाता था। और अभी लॉकडाउन के बाद में जो अभी ये सीजन हुआ है, तो कहीं पे कोई टारगेट नहीं मिल रहा है।
ये सीजन है तुम्हारे लिए, ये नॉर्मली ये सीजन है?
जी
ओके, तो तुम तो कुछ कर नहीं पा रहे हो।
बिल्कुल, कोई कहीं पे कोई काम नहीं मिला।
ओके, तो कैसे कैसे गुजारा होता है?
वो ऊपर वाला जानता है कैसे गुजरा था।
हम्म। नो, अभी तक बहुत ही खुश की बात है। ये मैं बता रहा था कि इट्स अ लेसन फॉर एवरीवन दैट स्टिल यू कैन सी दिस पीपल आर स्माइलिंग एंड दे आर स्टिल they're alive despite all the difficulties and everything. Once you see the living conditions where they live in and how they live in, and what I already told you, they don't even have electricity. They had to walk 10 kilometers on foot, and this is where they are now because this is the place where their electricity, and they won't be returning home tonight. They'll be staying in the same place where they're now, so they'll be sleeping there. They probably lie down in that one room, all of the musicians today. They have 8 to 10 musicians today. कितने लोग हैं तुम्हारे साथ आज?
मेरे साथ आज 8 है।
तो तुम लोग तो रात को घर नहीं जा सकते।
सर
जब
जाना
शो
पड़ेगा रात को।
जाओगे?
फिर इतने सारे
अच्छा,
लोग कहाँ पे ठहरेंगे इधर?
ओके, यहाँ पे ठहरने की भी जगह नहीं है।
नहीं है सर, तो अभी तो हम लोग मतलब कहीं पे आके जहाँ
हम्म।
पे इलेक्ट्रिसिटी था ना, उनके यहाँ पे हमारे मतलब दोस्त थे,
हाँ हाँ।
उनके घर पे तो ये इलेक्ट्रिसिटी तो हम लोग वहीं पे इकट्ठे आके आज ये
अच्छा,
आपके
आज तो
सामने सफाई कर रहे हैं।
तुम जो हम इकट्ठे हुए कि कुछ जो भी देख रहे हैं प्रोग्राम को, जहाँ से भी देख रहे हैं, तुमको थोड़ा सा हेल्प
जी
करना चाहे तो कर सकते हैं। हमने एक अरेंजमेंट किया है, तो हमको तो यही, आई मीन आई होप दैट एवरीवन वुड हेल्प यू। जो सब तुमको कोई सहायता देगा, पैसे वगैरह दे के वहाँ से, और कुछ अगर ये फंड मिल जाता है तुमको, जो भी है,
जी
तो कैसे हेल्प होगा तुम्हारा? कैसे हेल्प होगा अगर ये
हेल्प
मिल
होगा
जाता
मतलब
है?
थोड़ा बहुत तो कुछ राशन वगैरह खरीद सकते हैं।
तो कितना दिन चल सकते हो ऐसे?
अभी जब पैसे मिलेंगे तब इससे आज
हाँ,
2,000 की ले
समझ
लेंगे।
सकता हूँ मैं। तो आई मीन, तो मैं थोड़ा सा हिंदी में तुमसे बातें करूंगा, कभी मैं अपने ऑडियंस से भी बातें करूंगा इंग्लिश में, तो बांग्ला
जी
में भी बातें करूंगा, मेरे भी जो लैंग्वेज है। তো
जी
যারা আজকে অনুষ্ঠানটি দেখছেন বাংলাদেশ থেকে হয়তো অনেকে দেখছেন, তাদেরকে বলবো যে আজকে তারা 10 কিলোমিটার হেঁটে তাদের এখানে আসতে হয়েছে, কারণ তারা যেখানে থাকে সেখানে ইলেকট্রিসিটি নেই। তো আজকে তারা সেখান থেকে এখানে এসে প্রোগ্রাম করছে, আবার এখান থেকে রাত্রে যখন আমরা 11টা 12টায় প্রোগ্রাম শেষ করব তাদের সময়, তাদেরকে আবার পায়ে হেঁটে ফেরত যেতে হবে সেই 10 কিলোমিটার। তো এটা শুধু এসছে তারা এই আশায় যে আমরা আজকে সবাই একত্র হয়ে তাদেরকে কিছুটা সাহায্য করব। তো এর আগে তারা ফেস্টিভ্যালে খুবই ট্যালেন্টেড গ্রুপ অফ মিউজিশিয়ানস, আমরা তাদের গান শুনবো আজকে, তাদের লাইভ পারফরমেন্স দেখবো, সেটা কতটুকু ভালো হবে আমি জানি না। I'm not too sure about the live performances that you're gonna we will show you because of the internet connections, and we can understand they come from a remote part of India in Rajasthan. So how clear it would be, I'm not sure. But we try to show you some video clips, and they have attended many tremendous festivals. You can see their performances on YouTube. It's there, and they will perform for us live as well. But hopefully, you can make some sense. But then we can click on that link. You can see on Facebook there is a link pinned, so you can click on that, and it will take you to a website called Just Giving. And from that website, you can make your donation if you like. So कासम, हम क्या कर रहे हैं, थोड़ा सा दिखा दे सबको, तुम्हारा घर और कैसे रहते हो तुम लोग, तो कितना दिक्कत होता है एक साथ सब लोग जो हो। तो एक मेरे पास एक वीडियो है जो तुमने बनाए थे, तो
जी
आज पहले उससे शुरू करते हैं, फिर आएंगे लाइव गाना भी सुनेंगे, तुम्हारा म्यूजिक वीडियो भी है। म्यूजिक वीडियो मीन्स तुम जो कैमरे से शॉट किए थे तुमने, तो वो भी दिखाएंगे। तो थोड़ा सा देख ले कि तुम लोग कैसे रहते हो, तुम्हारा जो घर का जो हाल है, अब कितना दिक्कत में हो तुम लोग, तो देखते हैं हम।
जी
So we'd like to see the place they live in and the part of the town or the part of the village they're in. We'd like to see that now. So hopefully we have the video ready, so we can switch to that video.
नमस्कार, मैं हूँ कासिम खान लंगा और आइए मैं आपको आज मेरा घर दिखा रहा हूँ। यहाँ पे हम लोग रहते हैं और अंदर से दिखाता हूँ आपको। आइए, जहाँ पे हम लोग खाना वगैरह बनाते हैं और करते हैं। यहाँ पे हम लोग खाना बनाते हैं। ये देखिए, अभी हम लोगों ने चाय बनाया है और ये मेरे मामा जी जो जो मतलब शादी ब्याह के कार्यक्रम करते, शादी में जाते थे, अभी वो कोरोना की वजह से बंद हो गए, तो सभी अभी घर पे बैठे हैं, कोई काम धंधा है नहीं। और ये देखिए हमारा ये जो हम लोग रहते हैं, हमारा रूम देखिए किस तरह से, यहाँ पे हम लोग यहीं पे सोते हैं और यहाँ पे हम लोग गाना बजाना करते हैं। इसी घर में हम लोग यहाँ पर हम लोग गाना बजाना करते हैं। ये है वो जो रूम हम गाना बजाना करते हैं इसमें। ये देखो, ये हमारा एक बंदा सो रहा है और ये हमारा गांव है। ऐसा देखो, इलेक्ट्रिसिटी भी नहीं है, तो हमें यहाँ से वीडियो, इलेक्ट्रिसिटी नहीं है तो हमें वीडियो बनाने के लिए बहुत दूर गांव में जाना पड़ता है। बहुत दूर, यहाँ से 10 किलोमीटर इलेक्ट्रिसिटी है नहीं यहाँ पे, तो यहाँ से 10 किलोमीटर
The living condition they have, you can imagine. I mean, after I've seen it, I feel so privileged, and we cannot complain about our lives, the lives we had and we have. Even though all the situations, all the problems that we are facing at the moment due to the COVID, we really can't complain. You can imagine what the condition they're living in. And on top of that one, when they cannot really earn their livelihood, they earn their living because they can't even perform. That's the only thing they do. They have been doing it for the 7 generations they've been living. So we'd like to see a performance so you can have an idea how good they are. And they do their traditional folk songs, but based on classical and based in the Rajasthani tradition, the kind of music they do. So we can have a look and we can have an idea about the level of performance and the level of skill they have and the talent. Despite all the trouble, they still have smile in their faces, which is something that we should take lesson from. That they're living, all of them living in harmony. We can see in one place, in that constraint. That's where they practice, that's where they sing, that's where they sleep, and that's where they cook their food, that's where they eat. This is all in one place. And still they're here. They walk 10 kilometers all the way from their village to a different place so they could have electricity, so they could be in front of us to perform tonight. So you could see them tonight perform. So I hope we understand the hardship, and if we can extend our hand and give a small donation, it could be a cup of coffee for you, or probably it would be dining out lunch or a takeaway, whatever you call it. But for them, it would be something for the whole month or for a couple of months, because they don't need much to survive. So if we can help them, it would help them to survive in the meantime. So these group of musicians, this talented group of musicians, they don't face the extinction, I feel like, because almost in this condition, it's hard to survive. So I would like to listen to a song and probably play for you as well, so you can understand the level of performance they have and the level of skills they have. And let's listen to song number 2 we have, and you can imagine how good they are.
ah
हाँ कासम, बहुत बढ़िया था। तो हम तो अब आज लाइव भी सुनेंगे तुमसे। यहाँ पे तो तुम लोग आए हो, सब कुछ है। थोड़ा सा कैमरे को लेके सबसे परिचय कराओगे? सामने आ रहा है मुझे अभी। हाँ, अब ठीक है। हाँ
ये महबूब खान है जो खुरताल बजाएगा, बोले जी, खुरताल बजा रहे थे ना,
हाँ हाँ, थोड़ा सा सुन ले।
बजा नंबर हो गया फोन।
हाँ, कैमरा थोड़ा सा फ्रोज हो गया था, बट फिर भी सुनेंगे हम। और ये तुम्हारे चाचा चाचा है ना?
हाँ जी,
उनसे ही तो तुम लोग सब सीखते हो। और तुम बताओगे थोड़ा सा उनके बारे में?
क्या कर रहे हैं? ये मेरे चाचा जी अभी मतलब बहुत ही अच्छे धार्मिक प्लेयर हैं। तो हम लोग इनको देख देख के मतलब सीखे हैं और इन्होंने हमें सिखाया है।
वाह।
और ये जो आप इंस्ट्रूमेंट देख रहे हैं सर,
हाँ हाँ।
ये हमारा ट्रेडिशनल सिंधी सारंगी है
सिंधी सारंगी।
जी।
तो इसका
ये
स्पेशलिटी
हमारे
क्या
दादा
है?
परदादा जी बताते हैं। और ये जो खाल है, इसको ये ना बकरे की खाल है।
ओके, इसकी खासियत क्या है?
इसकी खासियत ये है कि ये बजेगी तब आपको पता लगेगा कि ये इसकी
हाँ हाँ
खाल है।
हाँ, सुन ले थोड़ा सा। वाह।
ये लकड़ी का है।
वाह।
और ये जो है आसिम खान जो मेरा मतलब मेरे भाई का ये हारमोनियम प्लेयर का।
हाँ हाँ। तो तुम लोग क्या सब एक ही परिवार से हो?
हाँ, एक ही परिवार परिवार से हम लोग।
हाँ हाँ हाँ। तो हारमोनियम भी
और
थोड़ा सा
हमारी
सुन ले।
शादी हुई है, हम लोग किसी भी
हाँ हाँ, बताओ।
रिश्तेदारी में है, हम लोग सब रिश्तेदारी में हैं, लेकिन लोग थोड़े दूर दूर।
अच्छा।
कोई मतलब मौसी का कोई ऐसा मतलब कोई
हाँ
रिश्तेदार
हाँ,
नहीं है, मतलब है एक ही कास्ट से हम लोग।
बट सब रिश्तेदार हैं तुम्हारे?
जी
ओके। हाँ, थोड़ा सा तो हारमोनियम पे है आसिम खान ना?
जी।
ओके।
और ये जो हम वोकल बहुत अच्छा सिंगर है ये।
अच्छा, आज तो सुनेंगे उसका उसका गाना भी सुनेंगे हम।
जी
हाँ।
अभी
इंटरनेट का कोई प्रॉब्लम है थोड़ा सा, मगर फिर भी देखते हैं क्या होता है।
होना।
हाँ, थोड़ा सा सुन ले अभी। अब अभी। हाँ
ये जो राग करेंगे ना,
हाँ
सूरज
हाँ।
सूरज राग बोलते हैं हम। इस
सूरत, हाँ।
राग का टाइम है,
वाह।
अभी इसका टाइम है।
हाँ हाँ, वाह। वाह 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 वाह। तो गाना किससे सीखते हो तुम लोग?
हमारे जी है जो हम लोग इनको देख
तो चाचा जी अब गाते हैं, अब अभी गाना गाते हैं अभी?
अभी इनका मतलब वो बड़ा अभी
हाँ
हम लोग
हाँ,
हुए ना
वो वो सिखा रहे हैं तुम लोगों को?
जी
हाँ हाँ, वाह बहुत
और
अच्छा।
ये बरकत खान जी
वाह
ये भी सारे के प्लेयर हैं और ये सिंगिंग भी करते हैं तो आपको ये सुनाएंगे
हाँ हाँ, सुन लेते हैं। वाह वाह, बहुत खूब।
फतेह खान जो
फतेह खान,
ये संस्कृत द्वारा एक मूवमेंट है ये
इसको इसको
इंस्ट्रूमेंट
हाँ, इसको क्या बोलते हो तुम लोग?
मोरचंग
मोरचंग।
ये लोहे का बना हुआ है
हाँ हाँ,
जो मतलब सांस के द्वारा बजाया जाता
अच्छा,
है हाँ
वाह।
सांस
सु-
रुकती है तभी ये बजता है
सांस रुकती है तभी?
हाँ सर
ओके, सुन
और
लेते हैं थोड़ा
अभी
सा।
और ढोलक के साथ में है
हाँ हाँ,
ढोलक पर है साबिर खान
सबीर खान।
जी
वाह, बहुत अच्छा लगा कसम।
जी सर।
तो सब लोग
और
तुम तो आज ओके, और भी म्यूजिशियन है तुम्हारे? ओके,
वो बच्चा है ना,
सबसे
वो
छोटे हैं होगे?
ये बच्चा अभी जैसे कि अभी ये सीख रहा है,
ओ ओके, बजाओ थोड़ा सा, सुन लेते हैं।
इसी तरह से हम लोग मतलब सीखे। अभी सीख रहे हैं। और अभी ये हमारा कैमरामैन।
नमस्कार। तो बहुत ही अच्छा लग रहा है देख के, सब लोग इकट्ठे होके जो आ रहे हो। तो आज हम चाह रहे हैं कि कोई जो भी देख रहे हैं तुमको हेल्प करे, क्योंकि इतना टैलेंटेड लोग हो तुम लोग, जो
जी
ये सबका रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी है, सबका कर्तव्य है कि तुम लोगों को ये ट्रेडिशन जो है, ये म्यूज़िक का जो ट्रेडिशन है, इसको सपोर्ट करे। तो वही चाह रहे हैं हम इस शो के ज़रिए। तो
जी
मैं थोड़ा सा बातें कर लूँ अपना ऑडियंस से भी,
जी
फिर एक लाइव गाना सुन लेंगे तुम लोगों से।
जी
So
सर
I'd like
बिल्कुल।
to make this request today. As you can see, this talented group of musicians, what they have been doing, and they are honing this craft, and they're preparing the next generation. It's a fortunate thing, but at the same time, it could be unfortunate in a sense that when something like this pandemic happens, that's the only thing they have and they can rely on. And if it stops, like the live music scene, the season is going on. This is what they call their season for their performances and for their live music, and they can't perform at the moment. And they're just keeping themselves together and somehow supporting. It's a good thing that they don't need too much to live on. They don't need too much for them to sustain their lives. But that's a good thing for them. That's a blessing in a sense now. Blessing in disguise in a way. But sometimes we don't realize because we need so many things. If you could remember a couple of days back when the pandemic hit, the first wave came, everyone was emptying all the shelves around the world, buying toilet tissues. That's the thing we could think about. That was the most important thing for us. And for this group of people, they're thinking about food. That's the only concern they have, not about anything else. So if we can reach this small target that we have, because our research had shown that even I applied in myself as well, because whenever we try to help people, whenever we help people, this charitable intentions, at the same time, the charity that we do, every time it ends up making us happier. So that's one thing. That's one of the biggest reasons to make ourselves happier. Definitely, who wouldn't like to be happy? And on top of that, what it happens and how it helped it, that we would be helping this group of people. First of all, we'll help them to be alive. And on top of that, they can keep this tradition, this amazing music, and at the same time, the skills they're building the next generation. They're passing on generations after generation. They're passing these talents, these skills. And this is the seventh generation they're running. But unfortunately, the same group of people who used to perform in front of the royalties today, they're still performing and trying to be alive and trying to keep this tradition alive. So I'd like to request to everyone, so on Facebook I have already commented, the link is there, I've shared the link, and also you can see that one on screen. There's a scroll going on where it says www.justgiving.com crowdfunding, and it, because I opened the account, my name is there. But it's, we are raising it from the show In Harmony with Ershad. We are bringing them, and we would like to keep it transparent, so you know that every fund, the target we have raised, we have sent it to them, because this is all we're doing. I would like to mention in this connection that I have a very good team, and it's a teamwork that we do for this show In Harmony with Ershad. And on air television for this show, I have my producer, Joydeep Roy, and I'm the executive producer at the same time for the show. But it's a team. We work together. I'm on the screen. You don't get to see him. But whenever we plan something like that, and especially he has his background as well, working with people in the grassroots. So he understands the pain of those people. He wants to help people as well. And this is my thing as well. I want to do as much service to people as possible. So this is what I'm trying. And unfortunately, we all have our limitations. Beyond that, we can't go anywhere. So that's when I thought of crowdfunding, that we can at least reach a small target to help these people so they can sustain for the time being, at least reach a point when probably the lockdown would be gone, and things would be normal again and they can start performing, so we can at least help them sustain for a while. So this is as you can tell from the living condition that you have seen already on screen, they don't need much. So let's go back to them again and probably talk to them and listen to their music. Okay, Kasam, तुम जब तुमने कहा था कि ये 7 पुश्तों से तुम लोग ये कर रहे हो, तो तुम्हारा जो जिसने पहले शुरू किया था और जो ट्रेडिशन है तुम्हारे, तो वो किसके सामने परफॉर्म कर रहे थे और करते थे? सुनाई नहीं दे रहा है।
हमारे जजमानों के घर में।
ओके, तो अब
उनके
जो
यहाँ पे कोई बच्चा,
हाँ
उनके यहाँ पे कोई बच्चा पैदा हुआ या फिर कोई शादी का फंक्शन, तो हम लोग वहाँ पे
तो अब जो लॉकडाउन के वक्त कुछ नहीं हो रहा है, सब कुछ बंद है?
बिल्कुल सर।
तो जो तुमने तो वो फेस्टिवल में बहुत अच्छा कुछ मैंने क्लिप्स देखा है कि वो फेस्टिवल के बारे में कुछ बताओ, तुमने कब परफॉर्म किया था?
वो फेस्टिवल तो सर बहुत पहले का है।
हाँ हाँ,
लॉकडाउन से पहले का।
हाँ हाँ, कौन सा साल था ये?
जून से था सर।
जून, और इस 2020 जून में?
जी
हाँ हाँ, बहुत ही अच्छा था। तुम लोग तो कुछ बताओ, तो कैसे हुआ, तुम लोग कैसे इंक्लूडेड हुए वो शो में, किसने तुमको इनवाइट किया है वहाँ पे?
हम लोगों ने अप्लाई किया था, हम लोगों ने
तुम लोगों ने अप्लाई किया था?
जी।
ये एक
कोई हमारे
फोक,
अफसर मिलने वाले थे अफसर।
हाँ हाँ, ये फोक फेस्टिवल था?
हाँ फोक फेस्टिवल था।
ओके।
तो हमारे यहाँ पे एक अफसर है, यहाँ पे घूमने के लिए आए थे राजस्थान में।
हाँ हाँ,
तो वो राजस्थान में जैसे घूमने के लिए आए थे, तो हम लोगों को वहाँ पे गाना बजाना करते उन्होंने देखा, तो फिर वो मेरे नंबर लेके गए और उनको पसंद आ गया, तो उन्होंने कहा कि मैं आपको फेस्टिवल में ले जाना चाह रहा हूँ।
हाँ,
इनवाइट किया फिर उन्होंने, तो उसके हिसाब से चले गए। फेस्टिवल में बहुत अच्छा, मतलब
हाँ, फेस्टिवल
सुविधा
का
मिली
कुछ
हमें।
क्लिप भी देख लेंगे हम। तो एक
जी
गाना सुन ले तुम लोगों से अब, पूरा ग्रुप को लेके,
जी
अगर कुछ सुनाओ तो बहुत अच्छा रहेगा।
जी सर।
वाह वाह,
थैंक यू
वाह, थैंक यू कासम, बहुत ही अच्छा था. I'd like to apologize for the, as you can see, the reception. Sometimes I've been telling you that they have to go to, it's like a nearby village where they can get their internet connection and the reception. That's where they get it from. And sometimes it could be pixelated. Sometimes it would suffer from reception problems, but you get the idea. So these are the group of musicians that who've been performing for 7 generations and they're still going on and they're trying to survive. And it was totally unforeseen for all of us, mostly for many generations where people, I mean, especially for this generation, we haven't seen anything like that, especially even not me. So when it first hit, everyone was quite badly hit. And even musicians, they are living in a remote village of Rajasthan in India. But think about the people who are living in cities with all the amenities and all the facilities we have. Despite all those issues, we still are going through a tough time and we are complaining, okay, we're stuck at home. And these people, they had to travel on foot. They walked 10 kilometers today just from their home to come to this place because this is where they could have a light, because this is where they have electricity. So they could perform in front of us today so you could see. And the only reason they're trying to do, he told me, I'd like to quote KASAM here, the band leader you have seen or the group leader. He told me that I don't care about how much money we can raise for us, even though that would be a great help. But whatever we would do with our faith, and we try to give our best performance to everyone. So this is what matters, and it's a true art for them. And the integrity you can see, we have to keep it alive. And these musicians, being a musician myself, and also not even a musician, if you think about one human to another, if you think about the suffering people are going through, definitely I am quite aware. It's not only in this part of India, it's in Bangladesh, it's in Pakistan, it's in many other countries, a lot of different issues. And it's not only the musicians, many people, but musicians. Why I have, first of all, I brought this one because I understand other people, they have their jobs, they have other facilities. Because musicians normally, especially in subcontinent and other underdeveloped countries, mostly what's happening is these people, when they can't earn their living and when they can't do the thing that they know how to do best, especially they are singing, they're singers, they're musicians, and if they can't do that, they won't have probably a three-course meal. And you can see I would like to show again the living condition they have and where they live, so you can have an idea, which we had already played, but I'd like to show it again. And their house, in the village, how they live and how all these people huddled together in one place. So we'd like to see that clip again, so you can have an idea what I'm talking about. And even though they're performing with smiling faces, because this is what they believe in, this is how they perform. There's no other way for them. But this is how they do it. So we'd like to support. It's a very small target of £600 I'm trying to raise today through this show. It's a very, very small amount for all of us. Just imagine how many people watch the show. Sometimes we have viewership of 15,000, 25,000, 30,000. Just imagine we're just asking for £600 for these people. For them, it'll be a whole lot. And if we can raise, if you can spare probably something for your cappuccino or your coffee, probably a takeaway, we can provide that support to them. We have already started with donating ourselves. I have done it. My producer had done it. Some other friends already had joined forces. But people who are watching the show tonight, I'd like to request you to make some generous donations if you can do it. But if not, whatever you can, so we can reach this target. So support these musicians and help them from extinction. So this is my request to everyone. But at the same time, as I was trying to show you the condition they live in, as I was telling you, so you could have an imagination, or you could imagine, just put yourself in their shoes. I know for them this is, but people, their generation, they perform in front of the royalties, but slowly things decline for them. And this is where they are now. And they are today in front of us. They are performing, but at the same time, they're expecting the people all around the world, whoever is watching, would extend their helping hand towards them. So if we can do that, that'd be really great. And I would be personally grateful as well, because all we are trying to do, because in this world, we have a very short life. If you look at it, whatever we do, we waste a lot of money. All of us, including me sometimes. I'm guilty of that. We are all guilty of that. But these people, for them, it won't be those necessities that we worry about, like toilet tissues and probably pastas and these and that. For them, it's more about just the survival, just a morsel of rice or some food. So if we can help them, it'll be a great thing today. It'll be a noble cause. And I think we will all end up being a bit more happier today if we can do that. So let's do that. Let's try to help these people. So I'd like to go back to KASAM again. कासिम, तुम्हारा जो फेस्टिवल का जो परफॉर्मेंस था यूट्यूब से,
जी
मैंने देखा था वो क्लिप. तो मुझे लगता है कि मैं भी दिखाना चाह रहा हूँ कि सब लोगों को जो भी देख रहे हैं, कितना अच्छा परफॉर्म किया था. और तुम्हारा जो करताल बजाते हैं उनका नाम क्या है? भानु खान. हाँ, तो भानु खान ही थे वहां पे जो बजा रहे थे वो डांसर के साथ. कौन थे वहां पे?
नहीं, वो दूसरा
था. ओके, मगर तुम्हारे ही ग्रुप है.
जी
हाँ. तो let's watch this clip from where they perform on the festival, and probably we can have a look at that performance. We can have an idea how talented they are, and they're performing literally with a flamenco dancer. And it was tap dancing, and they're performing with that and trying to keep, and they were matching them so well. And even though probably for the first time in their lives, they have seen those people, seen those performers, seen that dancer, they didn't probably have a chance of rehearsing with them, but still the level of performance they have. So we can tell this people just do it naturally as a second nature. So this is what I'm talking about. So if we can go back to this clip from the festival, that'd be really great. And I want to show that clip, please, if it's possible. I'm just waiting for the clip if we have that from YouTube or anywhere. So this is what I'm talking about. And these people, I feel so privileged that I've been able to bring them in front of you today. So anyone who's watching it tonight, it'd be I'll be personally grateful, along with the crew members of this show, and also on behalf of Kasim Khan and his group, if you can extend your helping hand towards them, so we can keep this tradition alive, these musicians alive. And they have been performing, and their skill, the level of performance. I've tried to bring everything possible. As you can understand, they live in a remote village in Rajasthan, and they have tried to do some video clips, make some video clips using their mobile phones. And I'm trying to communicate with them with my broken Hindi, as I said, but it's not about me today. So whatever I do, I really don't care about it, so long I get the message across, and you can understand what to do, and you can help. So long they can get some help, I'm fine with that. So without any further ado, let me speak to Kasim again. So Kasim, जो पहले जो ये लाइव गाना तुमने गाया था, वो कब गाते हो तुम? ये गाना का मतलब क्या था?
इस गाने का मतलब सर ये सूरत राग है, जो अभी इस राग
हाँ, वो इसीलिए तुमने सूरत, हाँ। तो तुम लोग क्या क्लासिकली ट्रेन कैसे हुए? तुम्हारे चाचा अब तुमको सिखाते हैं ये
कथा पर आधारित गीत है।
ये सूरत एक मतलब स्त्री थी जो इस टाइम अपने मतलब हस्बैंड से मिलने के लिए गई थी।
अच्छा,
तो उस टाइम का ये सॉन्ग है।
तो अगला वाला जो गाना है, जो नेक्स्ट गाना हम सुनेंगे तुमसे, वो कौन से सुनाओगे?
आगे जो अभी आपने YouTube में सुना,
अभी हम लोग दूसरा जो कृष्ण भगवान जी का सॉन्ग है, राधा जी और कृष्ण जी का,
वाह,
तो वो हमको सुनाएंगे। और राग है गुंड मला,
वाह,
जो राधा जी की और कृष्ण जी की कहानी है।
हाँ, तो सुनते हैं, चलो।
तो वो सुना रहा हूँ मैं अभी आपको।
वाह,
ये बारे में पता
So they are getting ready for their performance. It's a live performance, and I would like to mention, definitely, there's a caveat that the reception might not be the best, but you can have an idea. You have seen their performance from the video clip. You already know the level of performance they can deliver, but we would like to see them perform live at the same time. It's an amazing experience for me as well, along with everyone who's watching it tonight. Please, Kasim.
नदियों में गंगा बनूरी प्रीति बनों की धारा, हमें बडोरी इलाकों में हो बूढ़े हिमाला रे
बहुत खूब।
जी सर।
तो कासम, ये राग कौन सा था तुमने बताया?
गूंड मलाल जी।
कौन मलार? वाह।
पहले गाया वो सुरुड़ था और
तो
अभी ये गूंड मलार है।
तो तुम लोग जो भी गाना गाते हो वो कोई राग पे होता है ना?
जी
वाह, बहुत खूब। तो तुम आज अब बताओ थोड़ा सा, जो देख रहे हैं हमारे दर्शकों को भी बताओ कि क्या प्रॉब्लम जा रहा है तुम्हारा। थोड़ा सा तुमको मैं दे रहा हूँ फ्लोर। अब तुम लोग जो भी बताना चाहे, तुम्हारा चाचा, तुम्हारे जो सीनियर्स हैं यहाँ पे, जो भी कुछ बोलना चाहे तुम लोग बताओ, कि जो भी देख रहे हैं कि अब क्या हो रहा है लॉकडाउन के वक्त, और पहले बाद अब कैसे गुजारा हो रहा है, ये सब कुछ बताओ।
सर, जब लॉकडाउन नहीं था तब तो हम लोग अच्छे से मतलब अपना मैनेजमेंट कर लेते थे। और पहले भी हम हमारे जो गांव में हम लोग शहर में रहते हैं वो तो काम धंधा कर ही लेते हैं। और लेकिन जो हमारा जो पीढ़ी दर पीढ़ी चला आ रहा है ना, अपने यजमानों के घर से मांग के लाना और उनके घर में गाना बजाना करना, तो यही हमारा परंपरा मतलब चल रही थी।
हाँ,
तो अभी लॉकडाउन लग गया तो उनके यहाँ पे जाना बिल्कुल सख्त मना है।
हाँ,
क्योंकि हम लोग मांग के लाते थे उन्हीं के पास, उनके घर में गाना। हमारा मतलब सारा निर्भर संगीत पे ही है सर। इसी पे हमारा खाना पीना और इसी पे ही मरना जीना सर। यही है, संगीत है तो हम लोग है, नहीं संगीत नहीं है तो कुछ भी नहीं।
वाह,
ठीक है। और अपने यजमानों के घर में जाकर गाना बजाना करते थे तो वहां से कुछ पैसे लाते थे और अपना परिवार का पालन पोषण करते। इसी तरह से हमारा 7 पुश्तों से यही चला आ रहा है।
हाँ, हाँ,
और बीच में कोई कार्यक्रम मिल जाते थे शादी वगैरह के, तो वहां पे हम लोग ज्वाइन कर सकते थे। लेकिन लॉकडाउन के बाद में तो सभी हमारे जितने भी हमारी कास्ट के जितने भी लोग हैं, हमारे समाज के जो भी कलाकार है, मैं समाज का नहीं, सारे भी आर्टिस्ट,
हाँ, हाँ,
उनका सभी का बहुत अभी मैं कह नहीं पा रहा हूँ, बयान नहीं कर सकता कि इतना बुरा हाल है।
हम्म,
और खास करके जो ट्रेडिशनल कलाकार है,
हाँ हाँ
जैसे कि हम एक तो बॉलीवुड कलाकार हो गए, उनका मतलब बहुत बड़ा शो वगैरह होता है, वो अपना ऐसा कुछ भी नहीं। हम लोग तो शादी ब्याह के कार्यक्रम करते थे, तो उसी से अपना मतलब टापा टिपा हो रहा था, ठीक है। और जो ट्रेडिशनल कलाकार है, हम लोग जैसे ट्रेडिशनल है,
हम्म।
हमारा पीढ़ी दर पीढ़ी चला आ रहा, तो हम लोगों के पास इतना सारा बजट
अगर
भी नहीं
गाना
होता है,
नहीं होगा,
क्योंकि
कोई शो नहीं होगा, तुम किसी के घर पे जाके ये परफॉर्म नहीं करोगे तो चूल्हा नहीं जलेगा।
बिल्कुल
जी।
इसी पे निर्भर है सब। जिस दिन गाना बजाना नहीं हुआ, उस दिन कुछ भी नहीं।
तो अब जो ये प्रॉब्लम है, इसमें भी तुम लोग प्रैक्टिस करते हो?
हाँ सर, प्रैक्टिस तो करते हैं सर।
हाँ।
काम यही है,
वो फिर-
इसी पे
वो फिर
रोजी
ऐसा-
रोटी ये है, तो इससे हम इसका
इससे मुंह नहीं मोड़ सकते।
इससे कभी रुख नहीं मोड़ सकते सर, क्योंकि ये
हाँ।
हमारा भगवान ईश्वर है, क्योंकि हमारा अ, इसी पे सारा जो खाना देता है वो ईश्वर है। तो हम लोग, मैं ये मानता हूँ कि ये हमारा जो संगीत है, हमारे कलाकारों का जो रोजी रोटी है, तो रोजी रोटी एक ईश्वर है बस।
वाह। नो, मैं थोड़ा सा अपने ऑडियंस से भी बातें कर लूँ अब, उनको बताऊं तुमने जो कहा है, तो मैं थोड़ा सा ट्रांसलेट करके बताऊं। कोई सबको तो ये हिंदी समझ में नहीं आएगा।
जी
So what they were saying basically that they have been doing, this is the only craft they know, and this is the only trade, and this is the only thing they do for their living. They perform in people's wedding, and it's like more like a traditional art form that they follow. So if they can't perform, it means that they can't bring food. They don't have, because they don't know any other thing. I mean, you can probably, many people would relate to that, especially musicians all around the world. Many people, some people would say, okay, acting, that's the only thing I can do, and if I don't get to act, I don't know what to do. I mean, many people are in this situation. Some people, they go to schools, colleges, universities, they get their degrees, they get a job, and they're working somewhere. But this, for these people, this is a divine talent they have. And sometimes, as you can see, what he was saying basically, it's God to them. Even though I was asking them at some point that despite all these problems that you're facing at the moment, what do you feel like? Do you still practice? And he was telling me that we have to, because this is our God. Whatever happens, we don't care, because this is what brings food to us. So we have to practice, and we practice. And they do it with a happy face, with a smiling face, as you can see, even when they're talking now, despite all the problems they're here for. So sometimes it's kind of hard to believe that really they are going through that kind of problem. So I would like to show that video where you can see the house they live in and the living condition, how all these people, they huddle together in under one roof in one room, and they don't even have electricity in that place, and they have to go to a nearby village, walk a few kilometers before they can have electricity. To charge their phone, they have to go to a nearby shop, which is a few kilometers away, and this is where they charge their phones. And this is, and today, just to do this show, it's quite late at night in India, in Rajasthan at this time, and they have traveled, they have walked on foot, and they are quite far away from their home, but they will be returning home as well, because the place they're in now, all of these people, they can't stay there. So if it's midnight, if it's 1 o'clock, whenever we finish the show tonight, they'll have to get back home. So it's that kind of hardship. It's really unimaginable for many of us sometimes. But these people are still living, they're smiling, they're keeping together, and all the family members are performing together for us. So if we can support them, and if we can support this art form and these people, this, all these different cultures, and they have the beauty in itself. In Bangladesh, we have so many different amazing folk musicians, and I'll try to bring them whenever people would contact with me or contact with us on that show, or with the producer, with me, or anyone, or the crew. We try to bring them in front of you. It could be from Bangladesh, it could be from, I don't know, from Pakistan, it could be from India, anywhere. So people who need our help, we try to extend our support, whatever we can do for them. But we can understand that from our personal fund, how many people can be helped. So if we do it collectively, all get together, and if we can help the support and we can help the community, the thing is that you can understand, especially during the COVID, how hard it was and how hard it is. And there's no guarantee that people used to know your next door neighbor, probably he's not alive or she's not alive today. And I've lost many of my relatives. I've lost many of my friends, many of my even people I know of my acquaintances. I've lost them. So you have lost them as well. But these people are still alive and they're fighting for their chance to be alive. So I think we should help them. And if we can, as I said, it will make you happier. It's a scientific research. I'm trying to persuade you in any way possible. So if you can help them, if you can extend your hand, that'd be great. And in the meantime, if anyone would like to talk to me about the crowdfunding we're doing for these musicians today, this group, you can call me on 07 on WhatsApp. You can call through WhatsApp on 07 308 192 908. I'd like to repeat that. It's 07 308 192 908. So you can call me on that number and we can have a chat about this if you want to know any information that you'd like to know. It's very simple. Basically, it's a crowdfunding page. You can go donate whatever you like. Probably it's one of your Starbucks coffee. It could be your takeaway for tonight, or it could be one of your KFC or one of your burgers. Even for that, it might mean a lot for them. We're asking for a very small amount of £600. That's the target we have set for ourselves, because it would sustain them for quite some time. I understand. Because if you see their life, they really don't want much to thrive on it. They don't want much to be alive, to be happy. So we can see that video probably, where you can see their house and under one roof how all these people are living together. So let's watch this video.
अभी जो अगला सॉन्ग है कि राधा और कृष्ण जी का कानून रोना जाने हमारी प्रीत। कानून न जाने हमारी प्रीत, सखी में तो बाल कंवारी रे। कानून न जाने हमारी प्रीत, कानून न जाने हमारी प्रीत, कानून न जाने हमारी प्रीत, कानून न जाने हमारी
Wow. Beautiful. So that was the performance, but I was talking about a video as well, because every now and then we have so many mixture of different video clips. So, but I wanted to show the living condition, the condition they live in, and all these people huddling under one roof and what they have. But they're still smiling, they're performing, and they're keeping it together. And these people are living in peace, in harmony with their family members, and all these people, they look after each other. So let's have a look at that video that I was talking about. Let's have a look. So I don't know, probably the video is not ready yet. So anyway, I'll get back to KASAM again. KASAM, हाँ सुन रहे तुमको? हाँ सुनाई दे रहा है, सुनाई दे रहा है. तो जो गाना अब हमने देखा था, जो वीडियो क्लिप हमने जब अभी देखा, तो उसका क्या था? उसका कब गाते हो तुम और उसका क्या मतलब है? थोड़ा सा बताओ वो ऑडियंस को.
जो कानूरो राधा जी थी ना, जी राधा जी ने गाया था कि कानू जी बड़ा नरकट थे.
हाँ.
मुरली बंसरी बजाने वाला था ना, तो उन्होंने गाया था बंसरी पर.
बहुत अच्छा था गाना, मुझे बहुत ये इंटरेस्टिंग था वो ट्यून. और तुम्हारा सब सिंगर एक साथ नहीं है, जो भी वीडियो क्लिप में है सब आज आ नहीं पाए, राइट?
जी
ओके.
वो दूसरे गांव थे
ओ, इसीलिए कुछ ट्रैवल नहीं कर सके उतना दूर.
ट्रैवल नहीं कर सकते ना.
ओके. तो और एक गाना सुन लेते हैं तुमको लाइव, तुमसे लाइव एक गाना सुन लेते हैं. तो क्या सुनाओगे? हमने सूरज सुना है, हमने मलर सुना है, तो अब क्या सुनाओगे?
आपने सूरज सुना दिया और
कौन मलर सुना दिया? हाँ.
अभी जो मैं राग सुना रहा हूँ, राग खमायती.
वाह, खमायती. हाँ, हो जाए.
ठीक है. लाल हो
Bah.
शुक्रिया
Uh, so you have seen the performance. I've been talking about why we have it's a special episode of In Harmony with Ershad. It's because of a reason. We are trying to support this group of musicians because they are hardly hit, and especially like many of us around us, many people, many musicians all around the world. They're not an exception, but their situation is that they're already in quite underprivileged. They come from a very remote part of India in Rajasthan, and they're traditional musicians. That's what they do, or they have been doing all their lives. So they don't know anything else, no other craft, no other skills, and this is what they do, and they do at their best, as you can see. But now, due to the lockdown, their performance, they had to. The only way they used to earn their living, they used to go to perform in people's places or people's houses, or during any wedding, they would perform. But now, due to the lockdown, they are not allowed to go to anybody's house. So their main source of income, or the only source of income, that's totally have been diminished, or it's totally. I would say it's nowhere. It's totally gone. So, but they're still alive, probably living from their savings or asking from people. They're managing it. But good thing, it's a blessing for them that they don't need much to survive. They don't need much to thrive. So this is one of the reasons probably they're still hanging in there, still smiling, still performing for you, still singing. So this is one of the reasons. And I'm so happy to say that In Harmony with Ershad, I had no idea where it had gone. This show I was doing to connect people. I feel like this reason or this cause that I started the show with, In Harmony with Esha, through this show, and I just wanted to be in the middle to connect people from all different parts of life, all different walks of life, and all different parts of the world, so they could get connected through music, and that was my main ambition. But in doing so, I have managed to touch people in areas that even I wasn't aware of. I had no idea about this village in Rajasthan, but they have seen my show and they have got in touch with me. And this is how I came to know the trouble they're going through. And I'm here to help them. I'm here to support them. And it's a very small target we are trying to reach today through Just Giving. It's a crowdfunding website, and it's a very small amount we are trying to raise. So if you can extend your helping hand, as I was saying, it could be very small amount. It could be just anything, probably something that you don't even need, but you're just buying out of whim, even because you can afford it. But these people, probably for them, this small amount of money would prove probably weeks of food supply. So if we can help them this way, we have already tried. I have personally done it. Our TV crews, they have joined forces. They have done it. Even I have done it before I have set up this page for this crowdfunding. I have already helped them, send them money directly. So if we can help them, this would be probably, it would help them sustain for a while until this lockdown is lifted, and probably they'll be able to start performing again the way they used to do, going to people's places. They'll be allowed to go to perform in people's places, and that's their only source of income. And their art form, this beautiful art form, this beautiful music, it would be alive because they've been doing it for generations. For 7 generations, they've been doing it. So this is the 7th or the 8th generation now. They are still performing. So it's my request, if you can support this cause, the link is on the website. The website link is already, you can see that on justgiving.com. But the thing is, on Facebook, whoever is watching it, it's already there in the comment section. If the link is posted, you just have to click it and donate whatever you can. So if we can reach the target, or at least go somewhere near, we can help them with that. So that's the only thing. Our team had been working. I still can share with you last night, the producer who was working till 4 o'clock in the morning. I was awake till 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning, trying to get things organized. Because even for them, this technology and how we are organizing things, it's not that we're inviting them to a TV stage. So they have the only phone they have, which they charge going to a shop a few kilometers away. This is how, that's the phone they're using today for this show. So we might not be able to run it for a longer period of time, but today they're in a place now, for the time being, in a place where they have electricity. But normally where they live, they don't have any electricity. So if we can show that, probably that'd be great. And you can have an idea the kind of the living condition they have and how they live and how hard it is for them to sustain, but they're still smiling. They live together. This is a lesson for us. And the first time I've got to see this video, and the first time, even before that, I have been in touch with them through video calls. I've been talking to them and trying to find out the trouble they're going through and the problems and the financial constraints. And during the time, I came to see all these things, and it brought tears, literally tears to my eyes. So if we can show that video, that'd be great. Probably you can have an idea. You would feel the suffering they're in, but they're still hanging in. So if we can help them, that'd be a great cause. Life is very short. And before we go, we can spare just a little bit for people around us, because we have enough, I feel. We are very privileged, and very, very privileged to live in a first world country, in a society where we sometimes moan about things that we don't even need. But these people, all they need is just a bit of help from us, so they can have food on their table. So if it's possible, that'd be really appreciated, and we'd really appreciate you. So let's get back to KASAM. And in the meantime, if we have the video ready, we might get back to that to see what the condition they live in and the suffering. We can have an idea. So I'm trying to show that video.
नमस्कार, मैं हूं कासिम खान लंगा और आइए मैं आपको आज मेरा घर दिखा रहा हूं। यहाँ पे हम लोग रहते हैं और अंदर से दिखाता हूं आपको। आइए, जहाँ पे हम लोग खाना वगैरह बनाते हैं और बैठे अल्लाह करते हैं। यहाँ पे हम लोग खाना बनाते हैं। ये देखिए, अभी हम लोगों ने चाय बनाया है और ये मेरे मामा जी जो मतलब शादी ब्याह के कार्यक्रम करते, शादी में जाते थे। अभी वो कोरोना की वजह से बंद हो गए, तो सभी अभी घर पे बैठे हैं, कोई काम धंधा है नहीं। और ये देखिए हमारा, ये जो हम लोग रहते हैं, हमारा रूम देखिए किस तरह से। यहाँ पे हम लोग यहीं पे सोते हैं और यहाँ पे हम लोग गाना बजाना करते हैं। इसी घर में हम लोग, यहाँ पर हम लोग गाना बजाना करते हैं। ये है वो जो रूम हम गाना बजाना करते हैं इसमें। ये देखो, ये हमारा एक बंदा सो रहा है और ये हमारा गांव है। ऐसा देखो, इलेक्ट्रिसिटी भी नहीं है, तो हमें यहाँ से इलेक्ट्रिसिटी नहीं है तो हमें वीडियो बनाने के लिए बहुत दूर गांव में जाना पड़ता है। बहुत दूर, यहाँ से 10 किलोमीटर इलेक्ट्रिसिटी है नहीं यहाँ पे, तो यहाँ से 10 किलोमीटर।
So I think we have an idea about the living conditions they have, or they're living in under the conditions. It's very hard. I mean, many of us can't even imagine, but they're happy. They're still smiling. They're performing. And I asked them, due to this problem or these financial constraints, all the suffering, do you miss out on your practice, on your rehearsals? And what they answered is that that's God for them. This is the only thing they worship, and because that's the only thing that brings food on the table. So they feel that not a single day they can go without their prayer. And this is what their life is all about. So if we can help them, it's a very small cause. I've seen already we have a donation of £40 is already there. Our target is £600. So if we can make that, that'd be amazing. And we have something that these people have taken all this trouble today, literally walking 10 kilometers to come to this place where they have electricity. It's quite late at night in India. And by the time they would go home, it might be 2 o'clock, 1 o'clock, or even more than that. They would be walking all the way, and they will reach there. You can imagine this remote part of India, remote part of Rajasthan, remote village of Rajasthan. And at this time of the night, at midnight, there won't be anything. Even in London, sometimes we don't have anything. So how can you imagine anything to be there at the time? So they'll be walking all the way, carrying all the equipments, and they would just go home with this hope that whatever they have done, probably people would listen to them, would help them. So if we can do that, just this kind gesture would help these people. We are so privileged. We are so privileged. If you look around where you're sitting and watching this show, you're probably watching it on your iPhone. You're probably watching it on your laptop, on your Apple laptop, MacBook Pro, or whatever, or your tablet. And these people would be walking in the middle of the night, 10 kilometers literally, to go back home, to return to their places, because the place they're in, they can't even stay because they can't accommodate that many people. So you can imagine, I mean, it's hard to imagine sometimes, but they are only doing in the hope that in doing so, it makes them happy if they can perform in front of people, which they can't do at the moment. So this is why they're doing it. But on top of that, at some point, if we can send them something so they can sustain themselves for a while, that'd be amazing. So probably that's the hope they have in their heart. And when they would return home, after all this suffering, all this trouble they'll be taking tonight, going home 10 kilometers on foot, they might have that hope in their mind, in their heart. That's the only thing they might be harboring. So KASAM, वापस आते हैं तुमसे बातें हो जाए थोड़ा सा. तो मैं थोड़ा सा बातें करता हूँ अपना ऑडियंस से, उनको बता रहा हूँ कि क्या चल रहा है, तुम भी बताए, और तुम बता भी सकते हो अभी चाहो तो. तुमने थोड़ी सी उनको बताया तो तुम फिर भी बोलो. तो हमने जो किया है कि एक वेबसाइट पे थोड़ा सा हम चाह रहे हैं कि इकट्ठे करें कुछ फंड तुम्हारे लिए. तो तुमने मुझे एक बात बताए थे, बहुत अच्छा लगा मुझे. तुमने बताए थे कि आज वो बताओ, तुमने जो बताए थे कि वो इकट्ठे हो के नहीं, गाना हम गाएंगे बहुत अच्छी तरह से. पता है तुमको? वो भी बताओ मुझे, बहुत अच्छा लगा मुझे. क्योंकि मैंने तुमको कहा कि देखो कसम, मैं तुमको गारंटी नहीं दे सकता, ये तो मेरे हाथ पे नहीं है. जो देख रहे हैं अभी तक कुछ मेरे ऑडियंस वो डोनेट कर चुके हैं, मगर मैं होप कर रहा हूँ कि ये टारगेट हमारे एक टारगेट है, जो टारगेट हम रीच कर ले. मगर तुमने बताया था कि तुम ही बताओ, तुम क्या सोच रहे हो उसके बारे में?
सर देखो, पैसे मिलना वो एक अलग बात है. मेरे दिल में एक बात है कि मैं अगर कुछ गाऊं और आपके दिल तक पहुंचे, वही मेरे लिए बहुत बड़ी बात है सर. ऑडियंस खुश हो जाए और पैसे मिले चाहे मुझे मिले नहीं, लेकिन मैं जो कुछ करूंगा दिल से करूंगा सर.
बहुत अच्छा लगा मुझे सुन के, क्योंकि
ईमानदारी से काम करूंगा.
हाँ, ये जो आ रहे हो, दुनिया देख रही है आज. ठीक
है ना सर?
कहाँ पे देखेंगे, अब देख रहे हैं वो कल भी देखेंगे. ये तो हमारे वेबसाइट पे भी होगा, तुम भी देख सकते हो बाद में. और जो भी है इंडिया के, सारे इंडिया के लोग भी देखेंगे. तो जो भी है, इंग्लैंड के, अमेरिका के, ऑस्ट्रेलिया के, कनाडा के, जहाँ भी है पीपल, वो सभी देखेंगे इसको. तो अगर वो चाहे, मैं वही बता रहा था कि तुम कितने दिन से मुझसे कह रहे हो कि ये अगर कुछ कर सकते हैं तो अब. तो मैं भी ट्राई कर रहा था, क्योंकि एक सॉल्यूशन निकालना था मुझे कि कैसे तुमको हेल्प करें. क्योंकि ये जो है, बहुत सारे म्यूजिशियंस प्रॉब्लम में हैं. वो बॉलीवुड में भी है, हॉलीवुड में भी है, तुम्हारे गांव में भी है. तो एक आदमी के लिए तो ये पॉसिबल नहीं कि वो हेल्प करे. तो इसका काम है कि सब हम इकट्ठे होके सबको एक दूसरे को देखे कि हेल्प कैसे कर सकते हैं हम. तो वही ट्राई कर रहे हैं आज. तो देखे कि क्या होता है. सब देख रहे हैं, सब सुन रहे हैं. तो कुछ लोग डोनेट भी कर चुके हैं, हम देख सकते हैं वहाँ पे अपना वेबसाइट पे.
जी.
तो दुआ करते हैं कि जब शो ख़त्म भी हो जाए, कल भी ये तो चालू रहेगा वेबसाइट, तब तक ये हो. और मैंने तुमको इन द मीन टाइम कुछ मेरे पर्सनल फंड से भी पैसे भेजे थे, तो वो तुमको मिल जाएंगे. तो मेरा जो चाहना है कि तुम लोग तो वैसे पैसे मांगने के लिए नहीं आए, तुम लोग तो परफॉर्मर्स हो, तुम काम करते हो, काम के दाम मिलते हैं, जो वही करते हो तुम लोग. तो आज भी तुम लोग वही करना चाह रहे हो, और ये भी कह रहे हो कि अगर कुछ मिले भी ना मिले, गाना हम दिल से गाते हैं, तो ये सबको अच्छा लगे, तो वही बहुत बड़ी बात है. तो चलो और एक गाना हो जाए. हम प्रोग्राम प्रोबेबली अनदर 10-15 मिनट्स, 10-15 मिनट के बाद ख़त्म कर लेंगे, क्योंकि मैं सोच रहा हूँ कि तुमको घर भी जाना है ये 10 किलोमीटर वो
अभी
चल के
रात का यहाँ पे रात को 12 साढ़े 12 हो गई।
12:30 हो गए, तो मैं
सर्दी
क्या
का
खत्म
टाइम
कर लूं और तुम बताओ?
आपको ठीक लगे सर? आपका है मन?
एक एक गाना सुन लूं तुमसे, क्योंकि तुमको जाना है वो 10 किलोमीटर, तो पैदल जाओगे अब।
जी
हाँ, तो
और
वही सोच रहा
सर्दी
हूँ,
बहुत है,
मैं सबको बता रहा हूँ ये भी कि पैदल ही
ठंडी भी
जाओगे
बहुत
तुम
है
10 किलोमीटर। ये 12:30 बज गए। ये लंदन में भी कभी कभी अभी होता है कि 12:30 जब बज जाता है तो बस नहीं होता है। तो तुमको क्या होगा, मैं सोच रहा हूँ, तुम तो गांव में हो।
सर। हाँ
तो
और खास
हाँ
तौर से
बोलो।
सर एक बात है, यहाँ पे सर्दी बहुत है,
सर्दी बहुत है, तो
बहुत ज्यादा।
तुम लोगों ने अपना कपड़ा लाया और शॉल वॉल सब लेके आए तुम लोग?
ये है सर, छोटा सा है कि ये ऐसे करके चले जाएंगे सर।
कासिम, सुन के बहुत बहुत दुख होता है मुझे जब देखता हूँ, क्योंकि क्या पता है क्या, मैं भी म्यूजिशियन हूँ।
जी
तो हम भी म्यूजिक करते हैं, हम बहुत सारे ये टीवी में भी हैं, बहुत सारे और कुछ भी करते हैं। क्योंकि तुमने क्या बताया था मुझे, मैंने तुमको कहा था कि कासिम तुमने कैसे ढूंढा मुझे, तुम बताओ कैसे 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 मिला तुमको ये इन हार्मनी विद एरशाद ये शो का पता तुमको कैसे मिला?
वो मेरे को ऐसा पता लगा कि आपने ये माइक्रोफोन आपके वो फोटो पे है
हाँ हाँ।
और हेडफोन लगाए, तभी मैंने सोचा कि कोई ना कोई तो कलाकार है। अब मैं इनके बात करके देखूं, फिर आपका रिस्पांस मिला मुझे, तो मैंने आपके सामने जो बात रखी, वो एक आपके अंदर भी सुर है और हमारे अंदर भी थोड़ा सा सुर है, वो आपके दिल तक पहुंच गई बात और हो गया रिश्ता। सुर का रिश्ता है हमारा,
वाह, वही चाह
संगीत का
रहे हैं,
रिश्ता है।
वही चाह रहे हैं हम सब तो भाई भाई हैं। तो चलो एक एक लास्ट गाना सुन के हम खत्म कर लेंगे।
ये पुसी जो कौन है नाम क्या गादर गादर।
Okay. So we have come to the end of the show. I could have continued, but the thing is that I'm worried about it because, first of all, the temperature is very low. It's winter there in India. It can be very, very brutal. And you could see they don't have any warm clothes around them. It's just a thin shawl they're wearing. It's just they would just wrap them around, and probably they have to walk 10 kilometers on foot. And by the time they finish this show, they wrap it up. It might be 1 o'clock in the morning, and by the time they reach home in their village, it might be in the morning. And in the hope that they would get some help from us. But
जो एंड
as you
करता
heard, they were saying that it's not only the money they're here for, they're here to make sure that their music reaches some people in different corners of the world. So this honesty, if we don't think about anything else, we can probably help for the sake of humanity, for the sake of this honesty, the simplicity of these people. And end of the day, we have to keep ourselves alive as humans. If we don't help each other, we won't be there for long.
सर 1 मिनट
So
अभी
you can, हाँ
मैं
बताओ
कौन
कासिम।
गाने वाला हूँ सर,
हाँ हाँ।
वो एक सूफी सॉन्ग है।
सूफी सॉन्ग, वाह।
जी और
कहाँ से
आपने
सीखा
भी शायद
तुमने?
सुना ही है उसे।
कहाँ से सीखा है तुमने?
ये हमारा बस कैसेट वगैरह चलते सुन ही रहे हैं तो वो सीखा है।
हाँ हाँ
और धमाधम मस्त कर अंदर
हाँ, हो जाए।
हो जाए,
हाँ हाँ,
जो एंड में मतलब थम्स अप होता है हमारे यहाँ पे, उसके बाद खत्म कर देते हैं।
ओके चलो।
में गई मैं खुद भी हो लाल मेरी पत रखियो बाला झूले ओ लाल मेरी पत रखियो बाला झूले तेरी टमाटर
Bah,
जी
थैंक यू कसम, तुम सबको
जी
बहुत
सर
शुक्रिया।
आपको भी शुक्रिया
बहुत दूर से आए हो,
जी
दूर जाओगे अब, तो अच्छे रहो। एंड हम होप करते हैं कि सब तुमको हेल्प करे एक साथ, और कुछ लॉकडाउन के बाद भी देखते हैं तुम लोग
जी
फिर आओगे, फिर
जी
गाना सुनेंगे और सबको
जी
सुनाएंगे
बिल्कुल
तुम्हारे गाना। बहुत
आप
अच्छा
किसी
लगा।
भी टाइम कहिए सर
थैंक यू।
हाजिर रहेंगे
थैंक यू कसम।
ओके
Okay. So that was our Kasim Khan group. So hopefully you liked the performance. That's one of the reasons why they're here tonight, to entertain you even during this lockdown. But just to make sure, to do that, they had to travel 10 kilometers on foot tonight. And they'll be returning home the same way in the cold weather, in the cold, harsh winter of India, in Rajasthan. And I've been there, I know how cold it can be. And they don't even have proper warm clothes to wear, but they have to do it tonight. And with that hope, they might be returning home, that everyone who have watched it, or everyone who will be watching it later on, they might donate a fraction of whatever they can, a fraction of the fortune they have, the privilege they have. Even if you do that, so many people watch it. End of the day, sometimes we see 25,000, 15, 30,000 people have watched it. Just a fraction of your help might help us reach that target of 600 pounds. We already have some donors who have donated. I'd like to thank you. There have been people who didn't even mention their name. That's what charity is all about. No one has to know. If that makes you happy, that's what it's all about. We're just helping. And that's what we're supposed to do for humanity. If we have to hang in there as a race, and if we don't, go for extinction. So on that note tonight, I would request you, the page would be open for a couple of days, or at least for a week. If you can, after watching this show, you can click on that link. It's on the comment there, and I'll be probably at the comment on the comment link. I'll post the link again, so you can go there and make your donation and help us reach the target, so we can send them. And if we can reach the target as soon as possible, the better, because it takes nearly 5 to 10 days even for the website to clear the money. So it would take us some time once we have sent to them, because I've already sent him money, and it nearly takes 3-4 days to reach his bank account in Rajasthan. So without any further ado, if we can do, it's just a fraction of your privilege. That's what I'm saying. And it's a very short life. It would end up making you happy. You'll feel, just if you've never experienced that, try to experience it. If you can do that, that'd be great. And this amazing sets of musicians, amazing group of musicians, and their talent, we have to keep them alive. So I hope, on that note, every one of us who have watched the show tonight, you'll be safe, you'll be happy, and we'll still have smiles on our faces. And once you help people, you'll see that you have more of that in your life. Take care.